You're watching Pulse for the 1st of October, and it's time for some StarCraft news. In this week's episode, we take a look at StarCraft II Wings of Liberty patch 1.4.1 that is in fact now live, a few other posts of interest on the official site, the usual GSL, DreamHack, MLG and IEM updates, a tour of the EG Lair, Artosis and Major's new path, and more. Let's get started. Now first up in the StarCraft news for this week, we have Wings of Liberty patch 1.4.1. This is not really a very big patch at all. There are a bunch of bug fixes and a couple of editor fixes here too. In my opinion, the most interesting of the bug fixes was that they fixed slowdowns which could occur when using the Razer Spectre mouse. Now if you guys were wondering, the Razer Spectre is that StarCraft II branded Razer mouse. That's something they probably wanted to fix as quick as they possibly could. Now apparently a lot of people had problems downloading this patch, but it seems like those have all been smoothed out now. There were a couple of extra bugs that have already been reported since this patch went live, but I'm sure Blizzard are on the ball and ready to fix it all. You can, as usual, see the patch notes on your screen right now or check it out in the links below. Now sort of tying in with this, over at the official StarCraft II website you can read about the new career page. This was added in patch 1.4. The career page is accessed by clicking on the career tab under the leagues and ladders section, and it displays information about a player's ranking history for all seasons, and that's the seasons prior to the current season, as well as across all ladders. So in my opinion it's pretty useful, and I think that players really like the fact that they can keep track of how well they've been doing across all the seasons. Check it out in-game, and if you don't have access to Battle.net right now, you can have a look at it on the official site as well. Next, I just have two quick mentions. Early last week, Blizzard released a balanced snapshot for StarCraft II along with a situation report for patch 1.4. The balanced snapshot is in my opinion pretty useful, and it gives us all the win rates between all the matchups on all the regions. You can see that Terran is slightly dominant over in Korea right now, but overall things are looking pretty good and Blizzard's doing a great job at keeping it stable. The situation report was written by David Kim, the lead balance designer for StarCraft II, and apparently he owns a Baneling pet in real life. In this he goes over every single balance change that was made in the patch, talks about it, lets us know why they did it and if they're happy with it right now. If you're at all into your competitive play in StarCraft II, then this is a must read for you. Now let's move on to the tournament and event news and GSL updates. The GSL Code A is already in its semi-finals, that's its round of 4, and those are set to be played very soon. Our first matchup is between Gummy Ho and Curious, that's a Terran and a Zerg, and our other is between Oz and Sage, both Protoss players. Honestly, I'm pretty happy about the balance here, and I think it's going to be a lot more exciting if it's not all just Terran players. So I definitely can't wait to see how that plays out, and if you guys want to catch it live, you can head on over to gomtv.net and check it out on October the 3rd. In the Code S, the round of 16 bracket has been fully populated and the matches are set to start on October the 4th. We've got quite a lot of good players here, and yes, mostly Terran and a couple of Zerg in there with only one Protoss. The lone Protoss is killer. There are a couple of interesting matches coming up, but I suppose we're going to have to wait till the round of 8 or the semi-finals to get a clearer picture of what's going to happen. As usual, you can check those brackets out below, and feel free to let me know who you think's going to take this season. You think Nesty's got it in him to take yet another win? I wouldn't put it past the guy, but let me know who your favorites are. In the GSTL, things are a little bit easier to follow right now with the first 2 rounds of the playoffs completed, and our 2 teams that are in the finals are Prime and MVP. This season of the GSTL has been going on for quite some time, and it's great to see 2 teams as good as this in the finals. Anyway, that's it for the GSL updates, and as usual you can have a look at all those results below. Now the first in a couple of smaller pieces of tournament and event news. Here we've got the details for DreamHack Winter 2011. The prize pool for the StarCraft II tournament is a whopping 400,000 SEK. The first place prize is just under $30,000. Second place $13,000, third to fourth $5,000, and the rest, well, you don't need to know the rest. Some really big players have already been invited, such as MC, White Ra, Huck, Moon, Dong Regu, Thorzane, Bly, Star Eagle, and Lucifron. The rest of the players for DreamHack Winter will apparently be added through various qualifiers held all around the world. If you didn't know, DreamHack Winter is only set to happen on the 24th of November, so it's still a bit of a wait, but there's no reason not to get excited now. You can check those details out below if you're interested. Next, you can read how the guys over at Major League Gaming have a lot of improvements lined up for Orlando. They are apparently going to have much less downtime and have a lot more games on the streams. How? Well, they're adding 2 more streams, and all the matches on these streams will be solo cast by community casters Abadisi, Nurski, Tumba, and Robin. The casters will apparently choose matches on the fly over the entire weekend based on what's happening in the bracket. They have announced and spoken about a couple of other changes that will lead to less downtime and more games, as I said, and you can read all about that below. Then, Hero and Tyler have both been added to the MLG Orlando groups. They are set to replace both Dongregu and Soke, who apparently couldn't attend the event. Both these players have been placed in Pool D, and they'll be joining Huck, MC, and July. So that's going to be a pretty crazy group indeed. In the last of these smaller pieces of tournament and event news, you can read about IEM Guangzhou that's actually happening from the 1st to the 5th of October. Yes, that means it has already started, and you can check Team Liquid's coverage of the event out below, and be sure to check the streams out over this weekend if you got some time. There are some really good players taking part, and I'm pretty sure that this will keep any StarCraft fans happy for this weekend. With that done, let's head on over to the tournament and event smalls. First up in the smalls, over at the official site, read how you can compete in the NESE for free. You can check out some NASL updates over at nasl.tv. The groups for IEM New York have been announced. You can check the full schedules for the IPL 3. Lenok is apparently not allowed to play at the IPL 3, but is being sent to MLG Providence instead. There are no Korean StarCraft 2 players allowed in the IESF 2011. Read about the Battle for Berlin 2011 tournament. Check out the Asus Republic of Gamers Stars Invitational. This features a $10,000 prize pool. You can check out the results for the GeForce Pro-Am tournament. I'll tell you now that in the Pro section, MMA and MVP were both in the finals. And lastly, in the local news, read about the Do Gaming 2011 StarCraft 2 championships that are actually happening this very weekend. First up in our community news, we've got the long-awaited tour of the Evil Geniuses Team House, or as they like to call it, the Evil Geniuses Lair. Anaproza and In Control take us on a tour of the rather lavish-looking house that has become home to the StarCraft 2 division of Evil Geniuses. In the video you can see where In Control, Puma, Demuslim, Idra, Machine, Axlav and Strifecrow practice, where they sleep, where they eat, where they entertain themselves, and everything else. The house does look absolutely amazing, and I think this will make everyone out there, not just the other pro teams, jealous. When I first watched it, I thought that it was some sort of 5-star hotel, but I'll let you guys discover that for yourselves. Oh, and I gotta mention that In Control's snide and witty remarks throughout the video definitely made it worth watching. Check it out. Next up, we've got a new series that was started up by Artosis, and it's called New Path. 2 episodes have already been uploaded to YouTube, and so far it's pretty interesting. In this, Artosis takes his protege, Juan, aka Terran, aka Major, doesn't really matter what you call him, he's pretty damn good at StarCraft 2, on a new path, one to South Korea to join the professional Korean StarCraft 2 team, TSL. It offers some nice insights into the life of a StarCraft 2 pro gamer and the TSL team. The greatest part is that none of this was set up. Artosis just waltzes in there and starts recording everything that happens. We get a look around the TSL house. Artosis speaks to a lot of the TSL players, and one thing that makes it even sweeter is that Artosis' sidekick Juani is almost always there, so that's a bonus. So as I mentioned, 2 episodes have already been uploaded. You can find them linked on your screens right now. You can click them, they'll open in a new window, and I urge you all to check it out because, hey, when is the stuff that Artosis uploads not worth watching? Next up, the ex-Brood War pro gamer Park4GG Jisoo has joined the old generation's pro gaming team. This is after he retired from professional Brood War play earlier this year. He'll apparently be playing under the ID OGS Finn for his StarCraft 2 career, and I think it would be a bit of an understatement saying that people are pretty excited about this. Then in 2 even smaller pieces than that, Demuslim is now rank 1 in America and Europe's Grandmaster Leagues. Yes, that's pretty impressive. And you can read another little piece about Stefano's recent ladder run. Apparently he's currently on 64 for 2, with one of those 2 being a disconnect. So now you can see what all the fuss was about. Now you can see why Complexity and Millennium were fighting as hard as they were for Stefano. But with that done, let's check out the StarCraft 2 community smalls. First up in the smalls, read about a thrilling new StarCraft novel by Nate Kenyon. The BlizzCon media section has been updated. Have a look at a Barcraft questionnaire over on the official sites. Then have a look at a new post series that started up over on the official StarCraft websites. This one's titled StarCraft Art of War Immortals. And this week they are analyzing the patch 1.4 Immortal change. so if you want to discuss that with some like-minded individuals, check that out in the links below. Then Blizzard have said that they're not talking about their unannounced MMO at BlizzCon this year. BlizzPlanet have a review up for StarCraft Ghost Spectres. Kotaku has an article up titled "Being a Female Professional StarCraft Player Ain't Easy." SteelSeries and DeviantArt have sponsored Infinity 7. Fnatic MSI and Owned TV have partnered up. You can check out the Good Game Fall teaser trailer. Have a look at Grubby's 10th vlog where he talks about his transition from Warcraft 3 to StarCraft 2. And lastly, read about the future of the SC Center. Sadly, that's all I have for you in the StarCraft news this week. Remember to check the links below for everything I spoke about, and be sure to like the video, favorite it, share it with your friends, and subscribe. Most importantly though, happy StarCrafting.